leaders. That is Kevin Harvick, followed closely by Kyle Busch, and then third place Jason Leffler, as we are working lap number 162 of 200 here at Gateway International Raceway.
Marty, it's nervous time right now for Kevin Harvick. He's scheduled in at about another 9 laps. He's going to be out of fuel, and he is just hoping for a caution flag real quick right now because he decided to stay out that last time, and he last pitted at lap 95. These rest of these guys pitted at 124, and look at that.
Yeah, you can see, looking at the fuel window, Kyle Busch, Jason Leffler, they both came in at lap 124. Kevin at lap 95. You do the math. We've already heard from pit lane, and it's lap 171 when he has to make this stop. But a little further back, there's Justin Allgaier, as he is running a strong fourth, padding his Rookie of the Year lead, and he talked about racing here at Gateway.
This was the very first speedway, I guess if you will, that I ever drove on. And I can remember parking a van. We were here in a van, and I parked out just coming out of turn 4. And I can remember looking on the front straightaway saying to myself, I will never ever get used to this. This place is way too big. I'm going to be completely out of my element. And I can remember the first time driving around a race car. It was the funnest thing I'd ever done, and I was hooked from there on.
Of course, Justin, one of the Penske drivers, and oh, take a look at this. We're going to go 3 wide. That's Carl Edwards on the right side. Reed Sorensen, they're still going after it, and that's Brad Keselowski, who thought better of being on the high side heading for that wall.
Well, Reed had run down Keselowski in the 32. He'd run down the 88 car, and when he got there, made the pass, I think Carl said, I'll just see if I can get by both of them.
Brad's taking a measure of the 60, seeing if he can get up underneath Carl, but this is for position on the racetrack. It's 5th, 6th, and 7th. On board with Brad.
Yeah, about 5 more laps. Kevin Harvick, that big lead he's got, or that good lead he's had all night long, might go away if they don't get a caution flag here, guys.
His lead is now 1 full second over Kyle Busch, another second back to Leffler in third, and that's what it looks like from our view far away. And as we talk about the 38, what's going on in that camp, Dave?
Marty, you see that new paint scheme on the 38? It's called Gremlins, and they're all in the battery right now. Battery once again showing no voltage to Jason Leffler. He doesn't feel it in the motor yet, but his biggest problem, however, is that they are going to be 10 laps short on fuel unless they get some caution. That's their plan, unless to come to pit road, unless they see the yellow flag again and can save some fuel. But that battery thing may kill them before that.
Well, if they're showing no voltage and the car's still running, there's a bad gauge, because that car won't run with 0 voltage. It has to have about 8 or 9 volts to even make that ignition box work. So the fact that it's still running and running well is a good sign.
Yeah, I wouldn't even worry about it if it says 0 and it's still running. Exactly right. I mean, that's a good analogy. You know, I know when I'm home and my battery's 0, my car doesn't start. It won't even run. This baby's running fine.
But the key thing I picked up out of that conversation was Scott Zipadelli is saying, we're not going to make it. We're going to be short. Well, guess what? He stopped at lap 124, as did Kyle Busch, and just about everybody else other than Allgaier and Harvick in that top 6 group.
Well, that's 76 laps you got to run. I think that's asking for a lot. I really do.
But yet we heard other teams saying,
a little more fuel right here, bud. You got no pressure. I'll let you know when somebody gets close. Conserve as much as you can. Let it roll as far as you can.
Yeah, you see, they are real close to making it. If they can stretch it a few laps and the driver can help, they can make it to the end. Not all these cars get the same fuel mileage. Some guys can jet their cars to make better fuel mileage, and they work on it, and some don't. Some just try to jet it for power.
Well, as we get ready to go to commercial break, we can tell you Kevin Harvick has taken the 5 bonus points away from Kyle Busch. He has clinched the most laps led tonight at 102.
But man, I tell you, he said 171 originally, and they ran out at 171. So what a tough deal this is.
Justin Allgaier also on pit road.
Yep, there's Justin Allgaier, as he was another one who had stopped earlier back at lap 95. And Harvick slowly making his way down pit lane. He's got to come right to the start-finish line. That's where his pit is located.
Tough break. I mean, such a good car.
Agonizing.
It is. It's terrible.
Of those laps he stayed out, 61 were green. He needed to come in 1 sooner.
And the problem now is just trying to get it started. It's going to be very difficult to get started.
There's a start. Push in the back of the, pull the vent out of it, and then pump the gas, and try to start it.
See the engine guy up there pumping fuel into the little tube, squeezing that bottle, and that fuel is going down in that carburetor right now. He's trying to get this thing fired up.
88 car has been on and off pit road also, Brad Keselowski.
So he's made his final stop, and they are still having trouble. Mike, what's going on?
And guys, they're baffled by this. Now, the reason they didn't come down on lap 171, on lap 167, Ernie Cope came over the radio and said, I think we can go another 10 laps. So when he ran dry just shy of 171, their original pit stop lap, he said over the radio, I don't understand why. I thought we could go another 6 laps. Dave?
And guys, the 88 of Brad Keselowski was on and off of pit road. And now Jason Leffler is on pit road, but that battery is not functioning, guys. The engine sounded sour, and they will change it. They won't take any tires. They will take fuel, but second time today they've had to change the battery on that 38.
Tough break for a couple of great cars tonight.
It really was. 25 laps to go, and Kenny Wallace has blown a motor. He was running 16th at the time, and I'm wondering if this will bring out a caution, and yes, it does. Here's our 7th caution, and Kevin Harvick is saying, could I have just had that a few laps earlier? And boy, Kenny Wallace trying to make it around. Smoke pouring out of the 28. He had a nice run going for that team. Had stayed on the lead lap for a good portion of the race. For Kyle Busch, as he takes over the lead, we should point out that the 12 car of Justin Allgaier will get the Aaron's lucky dog. He's in 10th. Remember, he did make his stop, so that'll put 10 cars back on the lead lap.
Now you see right there, that 12 car also made a pit stop. He did not run out of fuel. He got on pit road and off. That could have been Kevin Harvick if they hadn't pushed it too far.
Big loser in this is Brad Keselowski, guys. 3rd in the points. He also made that stop, as we talked about. He's 11th. He was the 2nd car in line to get the lucky dog, so he is still a lap down. One thing we want to talk about. We were at lap 175. Kyle Busch has the good news of taking the lead. The bad news for Busch, he has failed to win in 5 of the last 6 races when he has been leading with 25 laps to go.
Oh, Marty, that's just a statistic. That doesn't count.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah, it doesn't count. Well, those statistics add up every now and then.
Okay, we don't have a lot of cars on the lead lap now. You're going to have some cars that are going to make pit stops.
Bring it when it opens.
Okay, it sounds like even all the leaders are coming in.
Why take the risk?
You don't want to take the risk.
With 10 cars.
With no more cars on the lead lap, all these cars will pit. Well, it's going to be interesting to see just what they do, whether they get tires or fuel or right sides. There'll be a lot of strategy down there.
Hey, you might as well come on down and get some sticky tires, I think, get some grip. But 2 tires might not be a bad idea with 23 laps to go to get that track position, Andy.
Well, guess what? No fake this time by the 18. The race leader is coming, and there are a bunch of guys that are following. That's Carl Edwards and Reed Sorensen.
And Justin Allgaier stays on the track. He may opt to stay out here on this deal. He's getting he's getting the lucky dog. He's not on the lead lap yet.
That's right. And he pitted back on lap 172, so he's good to go to the finish.
All right, I'm going to see who's going to get 2 and 4 here. This is going to be critical.
Let's go to Jamie Little.
Reed Sorensen fought his way all the way back up to 3rd. He said he needs more rear grip, but they don't want to take any adjustments on this car. Right sides, Trent Owens, the crew chief, said 3 seconds of fuel is going to be good enough to the end. Dave?
Kyle Busch will come in for 2 right side tires. 2 more are up on the wall, so it looks like they'll make a 4-tire stop for Kyle. His car very good right now. It's going to be only 2. The 60 of Carl Edwards, they'll take 4, and they'll stay with that plan. Just a little bit too loose on the short runs for Carl. This 4-tire strategy has bit them in the past. We'll see if it works out for Carl. He'll have the fresh rubber.
Well, Kyle wins the race off pit road. Came in first, goes out first. And Reed Sorensen, Eric Darnell, and Mike Bliss picks up a couple of spots.
Not a lot of laps left for Carl Edwards to use those tires, though.
Yeah, I started to say 20 laps to go when they probably get going. That's going to be it's going to be not much time to get it up there.
Well, we'll find out which strategy pays off tonight here at Gateway when we come back. After after this round of pit stops, the cars that stayed out and are going to get the benefit of the wave around and get to pull back up behind the race leaders, one of those will be Brad Keselowski. So he's back on the lead lap. So is Tony Raines, and then so is Shelby Howard. So it will give us 13 cars. I think we'll do the math one more time to double check that, but we'll have that many cars on the lead lap.
And Kevin Harvick gets one of his 2 laps back. It won't put him on the lead lap, but he does get one of them back here by staying out.